Hello and welcome. Very good morning. Thanks for being with us here on India Today. I'm Jayati Narula bringing you all the top stories. Let's begin with the top story that's defining the news agenda. The BJP is all set to hold its National Executive meeting at 10 a.m. today. Prime Minister Modi is going to be physically present at the NDMC Convention Centre in Delhi to deliver the concluding remarks. BJP President JP Nadda will be chairing this meeting. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Home Minister Amit Shah, Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is also going to be attending the meeting. The meeting is going to be taking place in a hybrid form, with some attendees present physically, others to be attending virtually. The agenda of the meeting is to set BJP's strategy for the polls that are going to be held in 7 states next year. Highlighting government schemes for the poor and government handling of the COVID pandemic is also on the agenda. The meeting is coming with the backdrop of by-elections held in 13 states for 3 Lok Sabha and 29 assembly seats. By-poll results have brought a bit of a mixed bag for the Saffron Party. It has lost major by-polls in Himachal Pradesh while keeping a tight grip in Assam and Madhya Pradesh. And Maharashtra Minister Nawab Malik hints at dropping another bombshell. The NCB Neta, inexorable in his attacks on NCB Zonal Director Sameer Wankhede after Aryan Khan case, has promised to reveal more secrets in a cryptic tweet. He will address media at 10 a.m. today. In a social media post, Nawab Malik said, and I quote, "There are many secrets hidden in the Lalit. See you soon on Sunday," unquote, suggesting that there are more startling revelations to be made. Meanwhile, vigilance team probing extortion charges against Wankhede is set to intensify the probe. NCB team will visit spots related to drug bust case and will scan all CCTV footage. They are likely to get in touch with Mumbai police as well. Sources tell India Today that the team has only found procedural lapses in filing Aryan Khan's case and no evidence to prove extortion charges. Statements of 12 people have been recorded in this particular case. NCB Zonal Director Sameer Wankhede has been removed as the investigation officer in Cruise drug bust case in which Bollywood superstar Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan is an accused. A team led by senior police officer Sanjay Singh will take over the Aryan Khan case. Here's a news report.
Sameer Wankhede, the man who spearheaded drug crackdown in Bollywood, arresting high-profile celebs like Aryan Khan and grilling Ananya Pandey. He will no longer investigate the Aryan Khan case. At least 5 drug cases, including that of Aryan, have been removed from the purview of the investigator, who's battling allegations of extortion and forgery of marriage certificate. These drug cases will now be investigated by a central team headed by Deputy Director General Sanjay Singh, who reached Mumbai on Saturday. The NCB Zonal Director, however, is putting up a brave front. Wankhede claims he himself sought the probe by the central agency, thus ruling out his transfer from Mumbai to Delhi.
मेरा जो योगदान पहले था अभी भी वही रहेगा भाई।
हाँ।
मैं किधर शिफ्ट नहीं हुआ हूँ, सिर्फ दिल्ली से केस रजिस्टर, मुंबई से दिल्ली केस रजिस्टर होके दिल्ली चले गया।
हाँ, आयो भी चेंज होंगे ना सर अभी केस के।
हाँ तो आए तो मैं आया होगा उसके अंदर भाई।
Reacting to Wankhede's removal from the probes, Maharashtra Minister Nawab Malik, who has levelled several allegations of irregularities against the officer, says this is just the beginning. Wankhede is in the eye of a storm following explosive charges of extortion levelled by Prabhakar Sel, one of the witnesses in the Aryan case. Prabhakar Sel is the bodyguard of private detective Kiran Gosavi, who was spotted with the NCB Zonal Director after the Cruise drug raid. Gosavi, who is currently in police custody in a cheating case, had denied the charges.
गाड़ी में इतना ही चल रहा था कि 25 का बॉन्ड डाल, लास्ट 18 में फाइनल कर, 8 अपने को वानखेड़े को देना है, 10 अपने को बांट लेना है करके।
अच्छा 25 मतलब क्या? 25 लाख कितना?
25 CR
25 करोड़ रुपया। वानखेड़े साहब मतलब समीर वानखेड़े। ये किससे बात कर रहे थे?
ये सॅम से बात कर रहा था।
प्रभाकर साईल आणि त्याचे दोन्ही भाऊ यांचे CDR रिपोर्ट आणि यांचे मोबाईल कन्व्हर्सेशन काढावे, मोबाईल चॅट्स काढाव्या. माझे मोबाईल चॅट्स काढा प्रभाकरसोबत. जर मी कुठे बोललो आहे की बाबा इतना पैसा लेके आ, उतना पैसा लेके आ, माझा धंदा आहे इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्टचा, त्यामध्ये पूर्वीच्या काही चॅट्स असतील ज्यामध्ये माझ्या पैशांची देवाणदेवाण असायची ज्या टायमाला हा जायचा, ह्याचे फोन रेकॉर्ड काढा. सगळ्या गोष्टी क्लिअर होतील. हा जे जे एलिगेशन्स करतो आहे प्रत्येकावर, ते सगळे एलिगेशन्स फॉल्स आहेत.
This is not the only concern for Wankhede, who was grilled by the NCB team for hours last month. Nawab Malik has alleged Wankhede forged caste and marriage certificate to land the government job.
समीर वानखेड़े ने तो धर्म परिवर्तन नहीं किया, हम मानते हैं, क्योंकि जन्म से वो मुसलमान हैं. उनके पिताश्री ने धर्म परिवर्तन किया था. दोनों बच्चे बचपन से मुसलमान हैं, मुसलमान की तरह जिए. और मैं अकेला नहीं, बहुत सारे लोग इस कंप्लेंट को आगे ले जा रहे हैं.
मैं मुस्लिम नहीं हूँ, मैं हिंदू हूँ. मेरा नाम ज्ञानदेव कथुरुजी वानखेड़े है.
हमें जान का खतरा है और मुझे, मेरे बच्चों को, मेरे परिवार को डराया धमकाया जा रहा है. ट्रोल्स आते हैं, सारे फेक अकाउंट से आते हैं और हमें धमकियां दी जाती है कि आपको लटकाया जाएगा, आपको जलाया जाएगा. अब देखिए हम आपकी कैसे परेड कराते हैं, हम आपको पब्लिक में जला देंगे.
Wankhede shares a love-hate relationship with the B-town. He also headed the crackdown after Sushant Singh Rajput's death in 2020. The investigation saw the arrest of actor Riya Chakrabarti and questioning of actors like Deepika Padukone, Shraddha Kapoor and Sara Ali Khan. With Wankhede being removed from the Aryan case, it would be interesting to see how the crackdown now pans out. With Divyesh Singh, Munish Pandey, Arvind Ocha and Sahil Joshi. Bureau Report, India Today.
Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh has been sent to 14 days of judicial custody after being arrested on 2nd November in a connection with a money laundering case. The Enforcement Directorate sought a 9-day further custody extension of Deshmukh, which the holiday court has denied. Deshmukh's family is also under probe agency's lens. The ED has summoned his son in the case. Here's more.
Setback for the Enforcement Directorate in the Maha Hafta Gate probe. Holiday Court has refused to grant the probe agency further custody of Anil Deshmukh. The former Maharashtra Home Minister has been sent to 14 days of judicial custody instead. The Enforcement Directorate had sought a 9-day custody extension of Deshmukh, which the court denied. Anil Deshmukh is facing ED's heat in a money laundering case. In a letter to Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, ex-Mumbai top cop Parambir Singh has levelled corruption, money laundering and extortion charges against Anil Deshmukh. On Wednesday, Parambir Singh had submitted an affidavit before the Inquiry Commission stating that he does not have any more evidence to back charges against Anil Deshmukh. Former Maharashtra Home Minister was arrested by the ED on November 2nd after being grilled for 12 hours in a 100 crore extortion case. Deshmukh's family is also under the probe agency's lens. The ED has summoned Deshmukh's son Rishikesh in the case. Rishikesh, on his part, has termed the summons by the ED a witch hunt by the central agency against his family. He has also filed a petition in Sessions Court for anticipatory bail, which is going to be heard on November 12th.
ऋषिकेश जो है देशमुख, इन्हें भी लीगल रेमेडी अवेलेबल है और हमें ये डर है कि हमारे साथ में भी धोखा हो सकता है, तो वो किसी प्रकार का कुछ प्रोटेक्शन कैसे मिलता है और उस पर कुछ ना कुछ रिजल्ट निकालेंगे.
While the probe is underway, the blame game continues between the BJP and the Congress.
भारत सरकार, बीजेपी की सरकार विपक्ष को ख़त्म करना चाहती है. जहां इनको मौका मिलता है वहां विपक्ष के नेताओं को जेल में डालना, उन पे इल्ज़ामात लगाना, विपक्ष को बदनाम करना.
अनिल देशमुख की 14 दिन की जुडिशियल कस्टडी पे कांग्रेस एनसीपी शिवसेना नेता बवाल करते हैं. जब 100 करोड़ महीनों की वसूली करते थे तब ये सब कहां गए थे?
The Enforcement Directorate told the court that they really needed Deshmukh's custody to further the investigation. However, the court saw that there was no new ground that had been stated by them while seeking his custody, and that is the reason why Deshmukh has been sent to judicial custody. However, since his lawyers have not filed for bail, Deshmukh will now have to languish in jail until the next few dates. With cameraman Sunil Vaidya in Mumbai, Vidya for India Today.
National capital Delhi continues to be engulfed under thick layer of smog. The AQI levels of the national capital are hovering above 450 mark in several areas. As Delhi eyes gas for clean air, health experts have warned of severity in COVID cases given the pollution levels in the city. In an exclusive interview, AIIMS Director Dr. Randeep Guleria pointed out the adverse effects of pollutants on COVID patients. Dr. Guleria stated that breathing Delhi's air is more poisonous than smoking, and that pollution could lead to severe swelling in the lungs. Dr. Guleria also said that the national capital Delhi could witness an influx in COVID patients post the festivities as the virus stays suspended in polluted air for longer, increasing the risk of COVID infection.
It's literally hazardous to breathe in Delhi right now. 2 days since Delhi's Diwali dhamaka, and a thick blanket of smog lingers, making it almost impossible to stop and take one deep breath. After breaching the 900 mark day after Diwali, Delhi's air quality has improved slightly, but it is still far from safe. Delhi's AQI peaked well above 550 mark and hovered around 500 for most of Saturday. Areas surrounding the national capital also continue to breathe in the poisonous air.
I'm standing at ITU and the app is clearly showing that the air at the ITU and the surrounding areas is 472, making it hazardous. The air in the national capital has now turned poisonous.
Noida's AQI hovered around 480. Ghaziabad's AQI breached the 500 mark early on Saturday, marginally dropping to 482. And Gurugram too saw a dip from 500 plus AQI to around 485. As citizens choke, many are complaining of itchy throat, watery eyes, among other concerns. The elderly and the children are the worst hit.
Presently, there is a season of respiratory syncytial virus. So what is happening? Those babies who are getting some respiratory tract infections because of pollution, they are developing more respiratory distress. They are facing more respiratory problems. Not only respiratory part, but also there is irritation in the eyes. The PM value is so bad that it is affecting the eyes. It is causing irritation, and also it leads to the clouding of the brain.
The pollution woes for Delhi are, however, likely to get worse. Experts are raising an alarm over double trouble, the poisonous combination of pollution and COVID. AIIMS Director Dr. Randeep Guleria warned that high pollution could lead to severe cases of coronavirus.
There is a paper from the United States which has looked at all areas in the US and looked at mortality because of COVID-19 and air pollution in those areas, and again shown that if you have high levels of air pollution, then the chances of having more severe COVID and dying because of COVID goes up. And this makes some scientific sense also, because pollution also attacks the lungs. It causes inflammation in the lungs. It causes weakening of the lung responses.
Exposure to such severe pollution could also mean a lot of trouble for those with heart and kidney issues, according to a study by the Case Western Reserve University in the United States. While the Met Department has predicted improved air quality in Delhi and the NCR over the weekend, but will it still continue to be much higher than the safe limit?
Environmentalists as well as various agencies who have in fact come out and clearly said that while the air quality of the national capital and the nearby region will continue to deteriorate, it is only going to get better after Saturday evening once the wind velocity increases. On the other hand, environmentalists have also asked state government and the centre to come forward with an action plan which could finally ensure that the air quality, which deteriorates every winter, can be cleared. For India Today, this is Mohit Sharma with video journalist Sachin Chandok.
In a tragic incident, 11 COVID patients have died after a fire broke out at ICU of a government hospital in Maharashtra's Ahmednagar. The fire broke out in the hospital's COVID ward in which 17 patients were admitted. Preliminary investigations by fire department suggest the fire broke out due to an electric short circuit. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray ordered a probe into the tragedy. 5 lakh rupees each have been announced for the kin of the deceased.
कोरोना वार्ड के आईसीयू वार्ड के बाहर हम हैं। यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं कि ये वो वार्ड है जहाँ पर सबसे पहले आग लगी, ऐसा कहा जा रहा है। अंदर की हालत देखकर अंदाज़ा हो सकता है कि कितनी भयानक आग होगी। ये जो आईसीयू के बेड्स है, वेंटिलेटर बेड्स है, यहाँ पर सारे ट्रे से लेकर सारे फर्नीचर जल चुका है और ऊपर का फॉल सीलिंग से लेकर नीचे तक आपको सब तरफ आगजनी का जो नज़ारा है वो दिखाई पड़ रहा है। और यहीं पर इलाज हो रहा था 17 कोरोना के मरीजों का जो कि आईसीयू वार्ड में थे, वेंटिलेटर पर थे और इसलिए उनका इलाज बहुत ही ज़रूरी था। जो परिजन है उनका कहना है कि कुछ ही दिनों में उनके कुछ लोगों का यहाँ से डिस्चार्ज होने वाला था और कहा भी ये जा रहा है कि यहाँ पर जो ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई है वो बंद हो जाने से ऐसी घटना हुई होगी, ऐसा आरोप परिजनों ने लगाया है। जांच चल रही है। डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर, डिविजनल कमिश्नर, साथ ही साथ अहमदनगर जिले के सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस और इस सिविल अस्पताल के आला अधिकारी डॉक्टर्स फिलहाल जांच में जुटे हुए हैं।
Almost everybody had written them off. However, as slim as the chances may be, there is still a chance for India to make it to the semi-finals. Yes, that's right. India, New Zealand and Afghanistan, all three are in the contention to make it to the semi-finals, as all the three teams can be on the 6 points. And the team with a better run rate probably will sneak through. Here's a look.
Oh, that's a way to win a cricket match.
India have done all that they could do to keep their dream alive. Now their hopes of making it to the semi-finals bank on the match between Afghanistan and New Zealand. With Pakistan already through to the semi-finals, only one out of India, Afghanistan and New Zealand can make it to the next stage.
Will again clear the field and there's only open spaces in this.
India's dominating performance against Scotland has taken them to the third spot on the points table with a net run rate of 1.619, which is better than both Afghanistan and New Zealand. India and Afghanistan have same number of points, that is 4 from 4 games each, while New Zealand have a victory more than both India and Afghanistan. For India now, the match between Afghanistan and New Zealand on Sunday becomes as important as their last 2 matches have been.
Abu Dhabi, they win by 66 runs.
A victory for Afghanistan would mean that India would know exactly what they will need to do the following day when they take on Namibia.
Last ball.
However, if New Zealand are to win against Afghanistan, it will be game over for India, making their last game redundant, as Kiwis will go through to the semi-finals as the second team from Group 2.
So important because
Come Sunday, not just the fans of Afghanistan cricket will root for them, but they will also have the support of 1.3 billion Indians who will pray and cheer for every run they score and every wicket they take. After all, it's India's place in the semi-finals at stake. Sports Bureau, India Today.
With that, it's a wrap from me, Chaiti Narula, on this bulletin. For further news and updates, don't forget to log on to indiatoday.in or go ahead and download our app.